Support Black-owned journalism now more than ever. Black-owned media faces threats and needs our support. Help keep Black voices alive by donating today. Support Black voices today.
On this morning, lots and lots going on. We ha- trying to recover, trying to recover from the snow, and there's so much more. The State of the Union, as if uh, as if anybody cares. Nah, people care. People care. We won't say that. It's people, but there's a lot going on with that. Um, so we want to bring you some information on that because some of the uh, actually a bunch of Democrats are just not going to show up, and some will tell you about who they will show up to the State of the Union with. That should be interesting. But I want to start with something that is pretty important. It's pretty important. I think it's getting overlooked. But check this out.
Europe is canceling Visa and MasterCard. Europe realized that almost like 95% of their payment processing went through United States payment systems. What really started this was when Visa canceled Russia. They cut them off from their networks in 2022. They thought ain't nobody see this. So if you cut him off, we didn't even think about that. They can just shut off our payment systems. They were like, oh, we have to immediately get some new payment systems in here because this is dangerous. The head of the European Payment Initiative, deep integration created dependencies that could be abused when not all partners were allies. So they didn't switch payment systems. It's called Wero, W-E-R-O. And they already have 48.5 million people using the system. And by 2027, they're going to remove all of their stuff out of Visa and MasterCard and put it into their domestic payment system. Do you know what that's going to do? I'll tell you. That's going to cost American system $24 trillion. 1.4 trillion of that is MasterCard alone. It processes over 7 trillion euros annually. It's 1.5% on the fees. That equates to about $21 billion we're about to lose. So that's Microsoft Teams, Visa, MasterCard. Who else? And they thought we were friends. They thought we were cool. There wasn't gonna be no problems. We'll stick beside y'all. Y'all stick beside us. And then Trump came, second time, because it ain't us. We're not that evil. We wouldn't do that. But you didn't think it was going to happen this fast, which is what a lot of people are saying. They didn't think that they would be able to switch so quickly to a new payment processing system. And what's so great about their new payment processing system, you ask? I'll tell you. Their payment processing system is a tap to pay. It's a one-click checkout, and they have instant refunds. Not 7 to 10 business days in America. You took it instantly on my account. They called it a geopolitical urgency to unacceptable vulnerability to policy volatility. Is that not good? Because it's succinct. That's a proper sentence. Also, the ICE protests are causing such a problem overseas because everyone is seeing what's happening, especially what happened in Minnesota. They're redirecting their investment dollars. They're investing in Canada and Europe now. This is what has to happen. You have to see the consequences of your choices. You don't want to play with nobody nicely. You think everybody sweet. Okay. Europe is canceling.
Yep. So that is the story with that is very true. They are, and the leaders over there have said publicly that they are afraid of the unstableness of Donald Trump specifically. They said, this is not my words, but this is their words, that he could pull the plug on them. The stuff that he's doing, they don't necessarily agree with, and they don't trust him when it comes to money. It's like a child. But the European Union, they're and Mastercard and Visa is going to be hurt big time by it, but not just Mastercard and Visa, but the economy, trillions upon trillions of dollars. And we're in as much as a cashless society as we've ever been, and it's getting more and more that way. But they're saying something, folks, that we all should be paying attention to. One of my favorite folks to listen to, um, he watches, all black media, and of course, he has his own show on Friday evenings. It's RNG, Swag Sports, and we always laugh because he talks about keeping his money under the mattress. Well, it's no laughing matter. It's no laughing matter because what the European Union is saying is that we don't know how you Americans trust your banking system with the leadership you have now. They have complete control of it. And so we want to get out of any payment systems with the US and US backed companies like MasterCard and Visa. And this is through no fault of MasterCard and Visa. This is the volatility of President Trump. So that's a serious thing to watch. My sister brought that to my attention, and they had a meeting, the European Union and the financiers, um, last Wednesday, and they're expected to meet again. But they're moving fast toward overhauling their system and have as you saw in the video, a brand new system for them, which initially it was supposed to be up and running in 2030 or something like that. Now they have fast tracked it to 2027. So that's where that's at. It is incredible, folks. It's really incredible. But this is some of the results of the leadership that we have. So it bears watching. Definitely bears watching. Now to the snow. To the snow, folks. Yeah, you saw it. You many of you in the Northeast, even in the Southeast to an extent, felt that storm, record-breaking storm that blanketed all up and down the East Coast, Virginia, DC, Philadelphia, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, all the way up to Massachusetts. Thousands of flight cancellations. But as the snow moved northward and tapered off in other areas this morning, forecasters, brace yourself, folks. They're warning that another storm could be right around the corner. Yesterday's storm that meteorologists are calling the strongest in a decade dumped more than 2 feet of snow in parts of the Northeast. Now, the good news is that roads have been open. I know in Delaware, they had hundreds and hundreds of trees and power lines fall down, like 60,000 or more people lost power. Mass transportation was coming back. Schools are back. Philadelphia schools, though, are doing Zoom. But so many people lost power in New Jersey, Massachusetts, Delaware, Rhode Island. The Weather Service referred to yesterday's events as a classic bomb cyclone northeast of the Northeast. A bomb cyclone. The Northeast had a snow hurricane in February. RNG says some people still don't believe in climate change. Well, again, look at the leadership. Look at the leadership. They don't believe in a lot of stuff, or at least they say they don't. because it's all about the dollar bill, y'all, with them. But the National Weather Service said it's tracking another storm that could bring more snow to the Northeast region later this week. The new storm is not, though, the good part or the sigh of relief part anyway, as if we can really trust the forecasters, right? But the new storm is not expected to be as strong as this one. Even a few extra inches of snow on top of this hard hit storm, though, could make the cleanup a whole lot more difficult. So here we are. Look at that. It was terrible. As I said yesterday, it's pretty to see. It's when it's coming down, right? It's beautiful. It's a postcard until you have to clean it up. I was fortunate. Where's that card at? I had these gentlemen. Remember, maybe some of you remember this because we did it. Me, my brothers, my cousins, we did it when we were kids. Growing up in New York, snowstorm, we couldn't wait. We had shovels. We went door to door. Would you like your walkway done? Would you like your sidewalk done? We made money. We were little entrepreneurs. And we don't really see that today. In fact, it's been some time. It's maybe once I've seen a couple of teenagers in the last maybe 7 years. But where you guys at? They playing video games or something online, being citizen reporters. But that used to be the thing. So I had these three gentlemen, uh, probably late mid 30s, black guys. They had a little business. They had their truck with their name on it and everything coming around, and I paid them to clear my stuff because you got to support. We talk about support, and folks say support black businesses. Support. Well, support 'em. That's not easy work either. That is definitely not easy work. And you got to be careful too when you shovel in the snow. And we got to be doing something this week on heart health because we know it's Black History Month, but it's also Heart Health Month, especially in the African American community. Um, American Heart Association is going to sponsor a couple of segments on Let It Be Known this week. And so we're going to be doing something on that as well. And speaking of sponsors, one of our supporters, and one of the most famous people in the world right now, I dare say that civil rights attorney Ben Crump is that guy. And he's got some good news with his book. His book, Worse Than a Lie, is helping fuel a significant increase in sales at Black-owned bookstores across the country. As part of his national book tour, Ben Crump intentionally partnered. Hear that? He intentionally partnered with Black independent bookstores to host signings, conversations, and community events, leading to sellouts at multiple stops and a significant uptick in overall store traffic and sales. This publisher reports that approximately 25,000 copies sold in pre-sales and in books book sales in the first week, in-store book sales in the first week. And it's approaching limited remaining stock because the demand is pretty big. And so there you have it. Ben Crump, Worse Than a Lie, doing big business. People might who don't really understand the book industry and pre-sales to have 25,000 sold may not sound a lot to when you because people make the mistake of comparing it to like album sales, record sales. Um, but the pre-sale 25, that means it's a certified bestseller. And you wouldn't expect anything less from uh, the foremost civil rights attorney in the world, Mr. Ben Crump. RNG is giving us some words of advice here. Don't support Shea Moisture. That business is not black owned. The African guy who did own it sold it to a white guy. Doesn't that kind of remind you too? And that's a great point, RNG. I'm gonna put that back up there and let that sit for a minute. Um, Kind of reminds you of a lot of things. I saw where even Pinky Cole had said that for a year, I think for a whole year, she had lost control of her business, Slutty Vegan. And she just recently, if I got the timeline of her post correct, just recently regained ownership. But you got to watch it because you remember Essence, the Root. The Root is black owned again, which is great. BET is really the one that I'm thinking about. You know, profit from black, but not black owned. So Ben Crump was being very intentional, and you notice now. I'm pretty sure CNN and MSNBC or MS Now, NBCC, ABC, all of them would love to have had Ben Crump on first with his book. But where did he go? He went with the black lady. Um, y'all know who I'm thinking about. What I've talked about her. Well, I can't think of her name. Oh gosh, beautiful black woman too. Yes, Joanna Blank, but he was on her show first, her talk show, and he went black first. He said, "Listen, fall in line," and his support of the black press is certainly par none. I mean, you don't have to say much for Ben Crump to support the black press because it's an instinct. It's natural, and it should be instinctual. You get a lot of folks who talk the talk, but Ben Crump walks the walk. He walks the walk. Um, he recognized last September the struggle, the real struggle that uh, Ben Chavis and NMPA was having, and he said, "This is what I'm going to do." And they had an event at during the CBC legislative conference, and Ben Crump said, "Well, here's what I'll do. I'm going to give a donation to the black press, but I want to take the microphone and shout out everybody else in my position and those who have the ability to do so, to tell them, hey, follow my lead on this. Not only does the black press needs you, you need the black press." And you know, he went on and pledged $50,000 at that event. And generally at events like that, if somebody's going to pledge anything, they may give $1,000, $500 or whatever. But Ben Crump said, "My checks are going to total 50. What y'all going to do?" RG says Ben Crump is very rare. Most black folks to the black community, when times gets hard, he is on top of his game and he is working with the black press. Yeah, yeah. Got a text from Ben Crump this morning about the book. He's very pleased. But it's not just about, and listen, yeah, the spoils come with that. He's got, he's able to make the type of living that many people want to make. But you remember, he also has many people in his employ. But he walks the walk, talks the talk, and puts his money where his mouth is. Obviously, he don't have to, but he does. And RNG is so right. We've seen so many folks. I know uh, Mark Thompson got upset last year when I called folks out in the article, black folks who wasn't supporting the black press the way Ben Crump was. And the thing is, closed mouths never get fed. And some of those same folks are now supporting me here because closed mouths don't get fed. And we're noticing an uptick in our subscribers because of these supporters. We're noticing an uptick in our viewers because of these, and it's a slow process, but it's happening. It's happening, and I'm a shout some of them out right now, including the big one, Triumph International. Yeah, that movie's coming out April 24th, the Michael movie. Cost Plus, Mark Cuban, Salem Anesthesia Pain Clinic, Dr. Alu. Yeah. And then my buddy, my guys at Ameristar Rail. So yeah, they beat me over the head over an article about folks not stepping up. Oh, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. Why not? We've seen so many times, folks, and y'all know it's true. We've seen so many times, folks, um, talk the talk about, oh, the black press, black press, black press, black press. And every time you see them, they talking to white folks. They on a white channel. It's like they taking out ads in the New York Times or the Washington Post. They're not thinking about the great ones, the Sentinel in LA or the Informer in Washington or West Side Gazette or the Amsterdam News, the paper I grew up on. New Pittsburgh Courier, Chicago Defender. They're not, it's like, dude, ladies, gentlemen, black folks, these are black owned businesses. It, the 250,000 you spent on that full page New York Times ad, it's probably more than that. But don't you think that black owned business, most of the black owned newspapers in the country are black women owned too, the majority of them anyway. Don't you think that they and their staff could have used that type of support? But I will say, once they get in trouble, though, we've seen it so many times. Once they get in trouble, and MS Now don't want nothing to do with them. CNN don't want nothing to do with them. CBS don't want nothing to do with them. And where do they go? Where do they go? The black press. And there you go. RNG says, and those same people that you are talking about, they are front and center at the NAACP Awards. 100%. 100%. Front and center is right. Teeth so white in front of the cameras, smiling ear to ear, clapping at the speeches that talk about black lives and black power and stuff like that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Then they go to their white world. Y'all know who y'all are. black press reporter calls you up, and this has happened. So folks know that for years I have been freelancing and a stringer for New York Post, New York Times. In fact, I've been on assignment as a stringer for the New York Times the last couple of days with the snow, and I've experienced this firsthand. I've experienced this firsthand. I, hey, such and such, Stacey Brown calling, doing a story, Washington Informer, doing a story, Black Press USA. So and so is not available. So and so is not. "Mm, okay. Next call. Oh, this is Stacey Brown doing a story for the New York Times. Oh, he'll be right with you. Hold on, sir. We'll set that up. Doing a story for the New York Post. Oh, yeah, yeah. Page 6. That's the one thing too about these folks. And some of them, you guys are huge fans of. You spend your rent money going to see these people. And the black owned media, black owned newspapers in particular, have always catered to and been the voice of the black community, wherever you might live. Always giving these valuable, extremely valuable, not just news and information, but health clinics, where you can get this service or that service, stuff you can't find in mainstream news outlets. We go back again. Jesse Jackson just passed away, but you go back again to the civil rights era. Who do you think MLK and Malcolm X and those guys, who do you think that they went to give valuable information, to get valuable information to the community? They went to the black press. And King and Malcolm, they had access to white media. See, people talk that talk. They will invoke King's name, Malcolm's name, Frederick Douglass' name. Frederick Douglass owned a black newspaper, a black-owned newspaper, obviously. They'll tell you about Ida B. Wells in a heartbeat, but Ida's ancestors, they won't support. Frederick's Frederick Douglass's ancestors, they won't support. But Ben Crump has been different. Has been different. But we can't. We have to play this role where we can't talk about folks who ignore the black press, folks who have benefited mightily off the black press and black community, but we can't call them out when we struggle with, and you see the media landscape has changed dramatically, and you see that the federal government is like, we're not gonna we're not gonna do too much with them as far as advertising. And that is not new though. See, that's the thing, folks. This idea that the because I understand that NNPA did get some dollars from Trump's administration, CMS, I think it is, and Health and Human Services, Medicaid, whatever. So they have never, and I'm talking going back, way back. They've never under Biden, under Obama, under Bush, under Clinton. I think maybe under Clinton, after the big row, as they say in great, Clinton may have his during his administration, I think they spent money with the black press. But everybody else, Eleanor Holmes Norton twice ordered a general accounting office study on government spend with black media and found it to be a pittance Not even a pittance. It's like, what they say with the slaves, they got the leftovers, the chitlins. That's what the black press has historically gotten from the federal government, the chitlins. That's a fact. You can look it up. Look at the GAO report for the last couple of reports. They come out like basically, unless it's specifically ordered, I think it's like every 10 years they'll do a report. But Eleanor Holmes Norton made sure to have reports done. And the last one was just 2 years ago. And the money that they spend with media is incredible, the government. But less than 1/10 of 1% with black media. It was something like, and my numbers could be off a little bit, but it's not gonna be much. Like they spent something like 10 billion in advertising, and when they broke it all down from the 10 billion in media buys, um, I think it was like 3, 4 million in total went to black owned newspapers. Black Virginia News, who y'all need to support, since we need to create our own monetization strategies. Without question. Without question. And I think, again, it helps, it would help to have community buy-in, meaning that these black billionaires, they should see some value. They should see a lot of value in the black press, and wanting the black press to continue. But the idea that it's only been Crump is crazy. It's absolutely crazy work that it's only been that's just insane. And kudos to him, because again, this is a very intelligent man. He knows that it's more than just an uphill battle. But he's plugging along with us. He is definitely plugging along with us. So the book is Worse Than a Lie. It's available now, of course. And let's let's support him. We're gonna bring you some Hollywood news right now. A court case that was pretty riveting, um, and very interesting. There's a private eye, a very famous private eye, if you're in the Hollywood circles at least. Um, a uh, a sleuth, but a great one named Paul Baresi. Um, and this is born out of the Johnny Depp case. Christina Taff didn't just lose a lawsuit. She was declared by the judge, this judge you see here, a vexatious litigant in open court. She is the self-described activist who accused Johnny Depp's former attorney, Adam Waldman, and Mr. Baresi of running what she called a criminal cabal tied to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's trial. She filed a sweeping federal RICO case claiming witness intimidation and conspiracy. But Paul, who's again, a long-time Los Angeles Hollywood investigator known for handling such high-profile cases in entertainment, well, he strengthened his position by hiring none other than the powerhouse Hollywood attorney Marty Singer of Loudly and Singer. And Marty Singer's motion to dismiss in this case called Miss Taft's lawsuit unintelligible and absurd. Then things really escalated. Angela Gale, who was Paul's key witness, signed a sworn declaration saying she feared that Ms. Taft might retaliate. She described private investigators appearing at her Tennessee home and said she was visibly shaken from fear and anxiety. And while that federal case was still pending, Ms. Taft tried to subpoena Ms. Gale's private phone records in an unrelated Hawaii lawsuit. The judge, though, was not to be fooled. She saw right through it. She says there appears to be a pattern, and the pattern is frivolous discovery tactics. She sanctioned Taft, branded her a vexatious litigant, and days later, the federal case disappeared. I wanted to play the audio of the judge going in. I'm going to back this up a little bit, folks, so you can hear this judge really scold her, and rightfully so. It's going to start around the 120 mark here.
Named Mr. Baresi. The court went ahead and looked up those cases and saw that, you specifically cited 3 DSS 25044, and the judge in that case dismissed it. So that called question into the court's mind as to your intentions of filing these subpoena duces tecum that appear to be completely unrelated to Mr. Thomas's case as your publicist. I don't understand how an alleged harassment case against Mr. Baresi has anything to do with Ms. Meter's phone records, and how that has anything to do with the fact that you're allegedly suing Mr. Thomas for breach of contract.
Because his contract was to reach out about my U.S. district case in Central California, which is still ongoing. We were reaching out to reporters regarding artist safety and Baresi's documented harms to witnesses.
It appears to the court that what you're doing is you're using the legal system in an unrelated case to get another person's confidential personal information through their phone records.
Wow. I mean, she really laid into her. And I mean, this it should be standard in these court cases. And there's Mrs. Taft, and of course the great private eye Paul Baresi. Um, Folks attach themselves to these celebrity cases. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, we all know how crazy that trial was. And then they, in some instances, like this one, according to the judge, used the court to further their nonsense. And the judge just wasn't having it. Good for the judge, because unfortunately, not all judges, take such a hardline stance. And there should be more done to keep frivolous cases out of the courtroom, because anybody can just go file. And you think about Paul's job as a private eye, it makes it so much tougher. You got to go and dig up stuff and find out that he's got to get to the truth. All because somebody is doing something crazy, like apparently Miss Taft. And Paul has to, part of his job is to, dig through the mud and get to the truth. And good for him and Johnny Depp's lawyer. Good for Johnny Depp's lawyer that he had a person by him like Paul. Just amazing stuff. How the courtroom being used in that manner. But this is what folks do. And we see it so much, and we highlight that because we see it so much, certainly in the Hollywood community, but certainly in the Black community, where the system is just not built for us. It's built against us. It's just the way it is. Folks, turn our attention to something else very, very serious. I want you to take a look at this, and in a rural region of Uganda, a young girl named Sanyu was living with uh, an illness, a serious medical condition that causes fluid to build up in the brain. And at a young age, Sanyu fell into the wrong hands and was exploited for years in a case of forced begging. Her traffickers used her medical condition for financial gain by forcing her to beg for money. Well, thankfully, a Ugandan social worker came across Sanyu and observed indications of exploitation. And that is really thanks to this uh, organization. Check this out.
Human trafficking is illegal in every country of the world. Yet 49 million people around the globe are victims of trafficking every day.
Perpetrators of human trafficking make a clear choice to commit their crime. And when laws are not enforced around the world, we see trafficking growing exponentially. And so traffickers know this, and they continue to commit the crime, make those choices as long as law enforcement is not involved.
The Human Trafficking Institute is passionate about decimating trafficking at its source, the trafficker. We use a unique and proven model of partnering with governments and judicial systems to initiate a ripple effect of meaningful deterrence against human traffickers to bring justice and freedom to victims and stop traffickers. By empowering police, prosecutors, and judges in the United States and around the world, traffickers are cut off at the source from exploiting vulnerable people. This has a systemic and sustainable impact, as it not only rescues current victims, but it also protects future potential victims from being trafficked in the first place.
Recently, we had a case that involved some young boys being trafficked here in Uganda. This was a case that was, these boys were attending a school, and in the school, the headmaster, the head teacher of the school, was exploiting them financially for his own personal gain, as well as sexually exploiting them. And he was allowing others to do the same. We found out about this case through the heroic actions of one of the victims, one of the young boys who escaped the school and reported what was going on. At that time, HTI got to get involved in the case and begin working with police and prosecutors to aggressively pursue this trafficker and enforce the trafficking law here in Uganda. And I'm happy to report that resulted in a life sentence, the first life sentence in Uganda for a human trafficker.
In the first 2 years of HTI partnering with Uganda, successful prosecutions of human trafficking cases rose 417%. And around the globe, we've helped stop over 1,500 traffickers to date. And there's more to come. The Human Trafficking Institute is expanding our impact to bring transformational justice to more areas of the world that need it most. Will you join us in this fight to bring a sustainable system of change? Together, we will have exponential impact and bring tangible hope to millions of victims around the globe.
Yeah, the Human Trafficking Institute folks support that. In that case of Sanyu, the caseworker promptly contacted law enforcement, leading to an investigation and arrest. It was a coordinated response followed to both protect the child and advance the prosecution. That is what the work of the Human Trafficking Institute is all about. So check them out, support them. Traffickinginstitute.org. Traffickinginstitute.org. So check them out. Really, they do amazing work. So check them out. Well, we we know what tonight is. Yep, there it is. The State of the Union address is expected to bring in a large crowd of lawmakers, Supreme Court justices, and guests from across the country to Capitol Hill. But there's something else going on, folks. There's the Democratic side. And they got some plans. Democrats on their side of the House chamber, uh, that side is going to look a little thin. Many of the members are opting to engage in alternate programming rather than listening to Trump's, as they say, self-congratulation. Those attending are expected to sit in silent defiance. Those Democrats, that is. But and that's what Hakeem Jeffries has asked them to do. But several House Democrats, several of them, including Ro Khanna, who you see there, you know what they're doing? Well, here's what they are doing. Yes, they are. Some of their guests are going to be the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. That is their plan. Those Democrats who will attend, and that includes Ro Khanna, who is one of the authors of the Epstein Transparency Act, which is the law that has resulted in the release of what, millions of pages now of the Epstein's files. But that's going to be the story tonight for at least on the Democratic side. It's going to be Epstein files. It's just amazing that it's got to be hard to sit through that, right? To sit through this president talking about all the great things that he says he has accomplished. It's going to be extremely difficult. And I just remember back in the day when the State of the Union used to come on, it was only like 3 channels, NBC, ABC, and Fox. I mean, NBC, ABC, and CBS. Fox came later in the 80s, late 80s. And then, of course, there was the independent stations in New York. It was WPIX 11, WWOR 9. And we used to hate when the State of the Union came on because it would interrupt your programming, whatever you wanted to watch on television that night. And then you're thinking, okay, when that thing is finally over, they can get back to regularly scheduled programming. And that never happened because it was always, those guys, Max Robinson and Walter Cronkite and those guys they have to, do an analysis and talk about it for another, what seemed like 3 hours or so. So, but that is tonight, the State of the Union for those interested and for those disinterested. The State of the Union. Oh man. There is something else going on I want you guys to know about if you don't already know. And that is that Maxim magazine is having their cover girl competition. And you have to vote for your favorite person. And if you know anybody in the competition, it'd be nice to vote every day. I have somebody I know, my cuz. And I'm trying to get her to come on before the competition's over. But you can go to Maxim and cast your vote. And I don't know what round. I guess she has to tell me again what round they're in. But they're still in it's not early, but it's not late. It's not too late. So check out the Maximum Cover Girl. And listen, follow my lead and vote for Trixie. And let her Let her experience the joy, what they say, the thrill of victory. We don't want her having the agony of defeat. Okay. My wide world of sports reference when it comes to, applying it to Maxim Cover Girl. So check that out, folks. And I'll be bringing you more details on that, whether she comes on or not. So that's bias, right? Yeah, of course it is. Why not? Why not? Oh boy. So I want to go out to our girl now, Shawnee B. News you can use. And wonder what she's talking about this morning. I think deputies arrested a FedEx driver. Let's check her out.
To shine it white, it's your girl, Shiny B. And if you're cool, you got to cool, yeah.
Disclaimer. Y'all swear y'all not hiring, but honestly, your ugly ass is hiring the wrong people. Now I'm taking you to East Baton Rouge, Louisiana. How y'all doing? And I'm gonna let the news quickly explain the story. We're gonna go down the rabbit hole and talk about, because baby, this man had work to do. Let's roll this beam footage and we're gonna come back and go down a rabbit hole. Let's go.
FedEx driver is accused of stealing $62,000 worth of packages. East Baton Rouge deputies arrested Tyron Jackson. Deputies say they found the stolen packages inside a storage unit along Perkins Road. You can see those there on your screen. Jackson is now in the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison facing charges.
If you've been looking for your package, Tyron probably got it in the storage room. Okay, let's start there. The thing is, why I say sometimes stuff don't make sense to me is because that was 62,000, and we always want to leave with allegedly, because anytime they give you a specific price, it's more than that. $62,000 of stolen merchandise. He had so much stolen merchandise, he had to get a private storage room. Does that make sense to you? You mean to tell me that he had access to this and nothing came up as a red flag? You have it in your system scanned out. It has not arrived. And $62,000 worth of merchandise on this person's shift or in this person's possession, moving hands, always ends up missing. What are y'all doing with the $62,000 that didn't make it to the destination? Because it made it to him. How did y'all figure that out? Because don't y'all have to scan the package? We're not gonna do y'all job for you, okay? He was a delivery driver. So at no point in his delivering, y'all said, well, why did none of your packages make it? Like, why are you always saying lost in transit? Have you, the consumer, ever been tracking a package and then it's just sitting for a while? And you be like, but it's supposed to be delivered today. Tyron got it. Tyron Jackson got it. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh. At the tender age of 27, you know better. But if ain't nobody gonna stop you from doing better, you're gonna get worse. You're just gonna say, ain't nobody gonna catch me. Now, they probably was investigating you and waiting for you to get to a certain threshold so they can prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. But baby, don't let my package be lost in transaction. Baby, no ma'am, no Pam, no turkey, no ham. This man had enough time to get a storage room. Was he still at once every few months? Like, how did this go unseen? Even the consumer would be reporting item not received. So, like, how much investigating do you need to do for him to rack up 62,000? Boy, you know I love you. I don't understand why it's under investigation. Maybe they're trying to see if it's an inside job, because this could not have slipped through
because all of the hands that it goes through in the system that calculates that it was picked up, dropped off. So it's definitely going to come out there's multiple people in this sting, and all of them are probably getting some of the items off the top or getting money on the back end just to turn a blind eye. At the end of the day, this young man couldn't have pulled this all off by himself because it doesn't even make sense logically. $10 missing? Sure. Maybe 2 packages a month, 2 packages every 6 months? Sure. $62,000? Ain't no goddamn way his ugly ass did that by himself. But y'all gonna keep saying, well, he could have? Nah. Ain't no way. Even as a district manager, if something looks fishy in your region, you're gonna look further into it. You're not just gonna let it accumulate. That main storage room had boxes on top of boxes. He got tired of opening them. That's how many boxes is. He probably didn't have to ask anybody what you want for Christmas. He like, I'll be back. Let me go to my storage room. He probably was boosting so much he got tired of boosting. Basically, they said property theft detectives were notified February 13th, so right before Valentine, your biggest sale of the year, of a theft that was reported on February 11th after the package was not delivered. So my question is, what were the other people doing that didn't get their package? Because, baby, ain't no way I'm letting that ride. So they accused him of theft, but now they have put his hands behind his back, so that means he's guilty because there ain't no way around it. And when they did the search warrant, that's when they saw the extensive boxes. So at the end of the day, somebody either snitched outside of that delivery, complaint, or they had surveillance on him. They were just waiting for him to hit a threshold. It's one of several things. I don't know because I don't steal. But at the end of the day, you're going to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And if you do got $200, they probably got that held up because they're going to assume you got it from your stolen merchandise. See, when y'all get on these sites and y'all get to buying stuff off of people, you have to realize sometimes it could be stolen merchandise. I always say somebody else's blessing is somebody else's misery. Because when you talking about, yes, I had a deal, I got a steal for a deal. Somebody else crying like, damn, my package didn't get delivered. Ugly ass, and it's not funny. Because I had my run-in like this, not with FedEx, but I had my run-in like this with UPS. I had to order 4 iPhone 16 Max Pros, and every time UPS picked it up from the T-Mobile store, before it made it out the T-Mobile store, my tracking said tracking unavailable, lost, undeliverable. And I'm like, you just picked it up. How did you lose it? You get to track your package as it's on your phone. Baby, they done stole it. So anyway, it was my birthday that time when the phone came out. So when I flew to Atlanta to celebrate my birthday, I just went inside of an Apple store. So my advice to you, do not have anybody ship you a phone. Just go into the retailer store and get them to ship to the store. Because if you ship to the home and that UPS or that FedEx or that DHL driver go pick it up, they're knowing what they're picking up. It's some type of electronic device. So they may accidentally swear with their glass that is missing when indeed it's stolen. What? Because that's how they do. And nothing happens to the company. You file a complaint, you get a few dollars back, you got to wait for this and wait for that, wait for this, wait for that. It's not worth it. So at this point, since you got inside people doing crazy work, you can't trust nobody at this point. You can't trust it coming in on the truck. You can't trust it being off the truck. At this point, you just got to know somebody's not making enough and they're going to try to steal and make a profit on the side. Stop stealing people's stuff, though. You don't know what value it has to them. And even if they got another one, you don't know if that one that they had was the last one. It could have been a limited item. Now you out here doing wrong, thinking you're getting a blessing and this is somebody else's misery. But y'all gonna do what y'all want to do with y'all little ass, because baby, I am just the messenger. It's your girl Shani B. If you're cool with your girl, gone fool with your girl. Check out that website. Yes, www.ShaniBentertainment.com. Check out the fan gear. Option to drop donations, but never any pressure to do either of the two, because I see the likes, the shares, the comments. Means the world to me. So I just want to tell you thank you from my lips to your ears to rock with me, because y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all come keep me company. And I love the time you invest in me, whether it's 5 seconds or the entirety of this video. So I want to know for sure y'all understand that I thank you every video.
All right, our girl Shani B. I check her out on TikTok. She does shows too. She's a comedian, as you probably guessed. and she goes out on stage and does her thing. So check her out. I find her to be extremely entertaining, um, and love her delivery of certain news topics. But anyway, folks, stay warm. I know that the snow is for many people. They're still clearing out, but it's starting to look better. The weather should warm up for a couple of days anyway, and we'll see what this other storm that they had in mind, because they're the ones that have it in mind. That's for sure. Definitely. We don't have it in mind. Ah, shucks. I don't want no more snow. I am so tired of it. Um, that's just the way it is. So tired of the snow. Y'all can have it. Because we are tapped out when it comes to the snow. We are definitely tapped out. But speaking of tapping out, certainly appreciate you guys joining the original Let It Be Known. Weekdays, 7:30 a.m. We will explore a later show, a noon or evening. Maybe I'll follow Lauren live, because when she does her thing at night, it is really, and Lauren will jump on at any time too. That's the great thing about Lauren live, is like you got to stay tuned. But do some evening stuff when folks are home in a good spot, having dinner or something, or just had dinner. Lauren is in a great. I just you gotta enjoy, especially because she knows the topics that Lauren talks about, and I'm sure it's, she has a even wider range than what she talks about, but she is so well versed in everything. So always check out Lauren live and check us out.
Thank you, love.
That is a wrap, y'all. That is a wrap.